In January of this year, Billy Nguyen was diagnosed with a rare form of blood cancer. He had T-cell lymphoma. A month later, he began chemotherapy, but halfway through that treatment, doctors told him it wasn't working. The lumps that would disappear would only regrow new ones, so his only hope was a stem cell transplant. His family, 3 sisters, desperately started this search for a donor until the news came in that, in fact, his older sister, Susan, was a match. Susan is our guest this morning from Edmonton. Susan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
I want to update everybody on your brother's story. Billy was supposed to be submitted to hospital today to start prepping for a stem cell transplant. Unfortunately, you've let us know that his cancer has grown back very aggressively this week. What are the next steps for Billy?
Yes, yesterday we found out that because his cancer has grown back, the stem cell transplant is going to be delayed for a month, unfortunately. And in this time, they are trying to get the cancer under control. So some time there before we can go ahead with it.
A big setback in a story that was so incredible. You and your sisters started this cross-country search for a donor for your brother, being that stem cell was his best chance of recovery. There was only a 25% that there would be a match with a sibling, yet when it came back that you were the match, how did you feel?
It was an incredible feeling, especially, we've just been on the wildest roller coaster ride of a lot of ups and downs. And, it was a little bit of a good break in terms of, how we're feeling and everything that we're going through. And, of course, right now we're on the downturn again, just with the delay in the transplant time. But when I found out that I was the match, it was an incredible feeling because initially we weren't going to take any chances with that 25%. And hearing about this and learning that there are so many others like us out there, we just thought, you know what, we're going to help ourselves and then also help other people too.
Yeah, explain to us more about this challenge of finding a donor that is compatible. They usually need to come from the same ethnic background. Why is it that certain minority communities in Canada have a lower chance of finding a match?
I get asked this question a lot, and, a lot of it is, I think, cultural differences in terms of, donating any kind of tissue or blood. And I think a lot of it is, too, is that, my family came from Vietnam, and it's a country, a third world country, where a lot of ethnic minorities are from, where there isn't a system like blood donors or stem cells available where the government provides for that because it does cost the system money. And so, my parents come from a country that isn't aware of these kind of things, and so it's not something well known. And so that's what we want to change. We want to let people know out there. And since starting, we've just had the craziest amount of, people just reaching out to us and wanting to help as soon as they knew, right? So I think the problem is it's just a lack of knowledge.
Okay, well, you have an opportunity to give people some knowledge. You were the stem cell donor for your brother. Can you talk to people about what are the requirements and what needs to be done for them so that they can become stem cell donors?
Yeah, I think we were extremely lucky that someone in the family matched. 3 sisters were tested, me and my 2 sisters, and only I matched. And so not every family is lucky that way, and there's families with more people and nobody matching. And so we are trying to get people to come out and join the stem cell donor pool to widen the pool for other people and make it easier for people like my brother to find a match. And so there's many different ways that they can register.
Susan, what is required of people if they want to donate stem cells? You just went through this process.
Yeah.
Tell us what you went through.
Yeah, so what we've been doing is the donor drives, and people can show up and they can go to one of our drives. They can go to their local Canadian Blood Services Center. They can register online at onematch.ca. And a kit will be given to them or sent to them, and it's just a cheek swab kit. So a swab of your inner cheek cells is collected, and that gives tissue or some cells that then can be analyzed for the DNA, which is then logged into the database, and it's kept there for years and years and years. And every time someone who needs a match it needs one, they go into this database and they look at the DNA profiles and see if anyone matches.
I know today's a bit of a tough day for you, Susan, and for all of your family. You were feeling so hopeful heading into today, but we are wishing the best for you and for Billy and the rest of your family.
Thank you. We just want to say that if people want information on where to donate, they can go to www.match4Billy.com. We have a drive coming up in Toronto from July 20th to 22nd. That's on our website, but it'll be at Richmond Square Summer Festival.
Awesome. Susan, thank you so much. We also have information for viewers on our website on how you can register to become a stem cell donor. That's at yourmorning.ca.